All right, get ready, because we're going deep today. Like really deep. We're diving into the heart of Paris at Christmas.
Ooh, sounds festive.
It is, but with a twist. We're focusing on Montmartre. You know, that hilltop spot with Sacré-Cœur, all the artists.
Oh, Montmartre. Yeah, got it.
Now picture it decked out for the holidays. But here's the thing. We're not looking at it from the usual touristy angle.
Oh, what's the angle then?
Our source is a walking tours analytics report. And it's fascinating. It analyzes Montmartre during Christmas like it's a business battleground.
So more shop till you drop and less peace on earth.
Exactly. Think of it as a guide to the Christmas market Hunger Games.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So who are the players in this holiday showdown?
Well, first up, you've got the tourists. Wide-eyed, cameras ready, wallets open. They want that picture-perfect Paris Christmas experience.
Makes sense. The snow, the lights, the vin chaud, it's all very romantic.
Totally. They're looking for those iconic landmarks dusted with snow, that perfect Instagram shot to make everyone back home jealous.
And then you have the Parisians themselves, trying to play it cool, like they're above all the holiday hype.
Right. But you just know they're secretly snapping pics for their Instagram stories, too.
Oh, for sure. Though they're probably also trying to find those hidden gems, the cafes and restaurants that haven't been completely overrun by tourists.
Good luck with that. Those are getting harder and harder to find. It's like searching for a unicorn.
And let's not forget the third player in this holiday game, the investors. They're the ones seeing dollar signs twinkling amidst the Christmas lights.
Oh yeah, they're analyzing everything. Foot traffic, potential profits, all while sipping their overpriced cappuccinos.
Always on the lookout for the next big thing, even if it's tucked away between a cheesy souvenir shop and a street artist of questionable talent.
Speaking of which, let's set the scene a bit. Our source paints a pretty vivid picture of Montmartre at Christmas. Lights everywhere, perfectly placed Christmas trees, and crowds. So many crowds.
You can practically hear the Christmas music, smell the roasted chestnuts, and feel that crisp winter air just reading the report.
Totally. It really captures the energy. They highlight key locations like Sacré-Cœur, a total magnet for tourists.
Of course. And then there's Place du Tertre, where artists are trying to turn their canvases into cash.
Place du Tertre is like its own little world within this bigger Christmas market. You'll find everything from breathtaking art to stuff a 5-year-old could do.
And let's not forget those charming side streets with names no one can pronounce. It's all part of the charm, right?
Totally. It's like a treasure hunt, just trying to find your way around. But hidden amongst those streets are businesses, tons of them, all fighting for a piece of that holiday spending.
We're talking restaurants with views that'll cost you an arm and a leg for a cup of hot chocolate.
It's all about the ambiance, the exclusivity. And you know what? It works. People are willing to pay for that experience.
Then there are the souvenir shops, overflowing with Eiffel Towers and those I Heart Paris t-shirts.
And let's not forget the street performers. Some are incredibly talented, while others, well, let's just say they're more about the showmanship.
It's all part of the spectacle, right? This mix of high-end and, well, not so high-end, all colliding in this holiday frenzy.
Our source talks about the rituals of shoppers and diners, which I found fascinating.
Oh yeah, it's like a beautifully choreographed dance of consumerism.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Picture this. Tourists following the scent of crepes like moths to a flame.
Groups of friends huddled together, snapping photos of everything. It's all about the gram.
And then you have that one tourist, laser focused on buying every souvenir in sight.
It's amazing how those little trinkets become imbued with meaning. They represent a piece of the experience, you know?
So true. But let's get down to business. What kind of businesses are actually thriving in this Christmas market jungle?
Those restaurants with the amazing views, for sure. They're basically selling the panorama with a side of overpriced food.
And people are eating it up. Literally. Then there are the art shops, and I'm using air quotes here for a reason.
I get it. It's a pretty loose definition of art in some cases. But it's fascinating how a scribble and a fancy signature can suddenly be worth a fortune.
It's the power of perception and the allure of exclusivity.
Definitely. Then there are those tiny cafes serving coffee in cups the size of thimbles.
Ah, yes, the epitome of Parisian chic. But it's not really about the coffee, is it?
Nope, it's about the aesthetic. They're selling a perfectly Instagrammable moment, a taste of Parisian sophistication.
Which people are happily paying for. So we got our players, we've got the scene. Now let's talk about the target audience for all of this. Who's fueling this market?
Right, and our source gets into that, breaking it down by age and spending habits, but they do it with a sense of humor that keeps it interesting.
I appreciated that. It avoids falling into stereotypes while still giving you a good idea of who's driving the market.
So we've got everyone from millennials documenting every moment to baby boomers reminiscing about the good old days.
Each generation wants something a little different from the experience. And then there's the money factor.
Our source put it perfectly. They said if you're happily paying €8 for a tiny cup of hot chocolate, you're probably doing all right financially.
It's a funny way to put it, but it highlights a key point. The Montmartre Christmas market caters to a specific crowd. People with money to spend and a desire for unique, even if overpriced, experiences.
It's a good reminder that even amidst the holiday cheer, there's a whole economic machine at play.
And that's a great segue to our next point, which is all about prime real estate and business opportunities in Montmartre at Christmas.
Let's dive into that. So we're back digging deeper into Montmartre at Christmas time. Remember how we were talking about those prime spots for businesses, those zones of opportunity?
Oh yeah, like Sacré-Cœur, where you can practically make a fortune selling bottled water.
Exactly. But there's another layer to this whole business landscape that our source brings up, and it's pretty interesting. They use the French minimum wage as a way to highlight the economic realities of Montmartre.
Okay, that sounds a little less festive, like maybe less jingle bells and more bah humbug.
Kinda, yeah. You know how we've been talking about those overpriced hot chocolates and everything?
Right.
Well, they point out that with the French minimum wage, which is about €1,700 a month, you could buy roughly 221 cups of hot chocolate at Montmartre prices.
Wow, that's a lot of hot chocolate.
Yeah.
But it does make you think, doesn't it? Like, how much does it really cost to just exist in this environment, even if you're earning a basic wage?
Right. And it gets even more eye-opening when you look at rent. Apparently, the minimum wage would only cover about 1/8 of the rent for a space on Rue Norvins.
Ouch, that's rough. It really highlights the gap, the economic divide, even in a place that seems so magical and festive.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think about the sustainability of this whole Christmas market thing. Like, who's really benefiting? Is it the locals, or are the profits going mostly to outside investors and big businesses?
That's a good question. It's easy to get caught up in the holiday spirit and forget about the potential downsides of all this tourism.
Absolutely. As consumers, I think we have a responsibility to be aware of those things and, make choices about where we spend our money.
So, as we continue exploring this whole Montmartre at Christmas thing, let's keep those economic realities in mind. It's not all just twinkling lights and gingerbread.
Definitely. And speaking of keeping things in mind, our source ends their report with a pretty interesting challenge to their readers. It's not just about observing. They want people to actually participate.
Participate how? Like, set up a hot chocolate stand and compete.
Well, not exactly. They ask, are you ready to turn Montmartre into your personal canvas? It's like they're encouraging people to see beyond the tourist traps and recognize the potential business opportunities.
Okay, so maybe not a hot chocolate stand, but something a little more entrepreneurial.
Yeah. They even offer their services to help people do just that. They promise business reports that hurt more than a red wine hangover, but cure like a good martini.
Oof, sounds intense, but effective.
Apparently. And they say their business proposals are as addictive as powdered sugar on a crepe, and their strategies can help you sell ice to Eskimos, but with more style.
Now I'm craving a crepe. But I get their point. They're confident they can help businesses succeed in Montmartre, even with all the challenges.
And they finish with a final thought-provoking line. They say, the French minimum wage is enough for 221 hot chocolates, or 1/8 of the space on Rue Norvins. You decide your legacy.
Wow, that's powerful. It's a reminder that success in a place like Montmartre comes with a price tag.
And it's up to each individual to decide what they're willing to pay.
So as we move into the final part of our deep dive, let's keep that question in mind. Do we just want to observe this market, or do we want to try to be a part of it? And we're back for the final leg of our Montmartre Christmas deep dive. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It has. We've gone from twinkling lights and charming streets to dissecting business strategies and even delving into the economic realities of this festive wonderland.
All thanks to this Walking Tours Analytics report. I gotta say, it's been way more insightful than your average travel guide.
Definitely. It's given us a peek behind the curtain, showing us the business side of Christmas in Montmartre. But it's also made us think, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, big time. About tourism, about the power of iconic destinations, and about how businesses are adapting to capture our attention and our wallets.
So as we wrap up, let's break down some key takeaways. What are the big aha moments our listeners can take with them?
I think the first one is realizing that even a place as magical as Montmartre at Christmas is still driven by, well, economics.
Right. There are businesses behind all those festive displays, strategically competing for every customer, and they have to be smart about it.
They need to understand their audience, make things visually appealing, offer experiences people will pay a premium for.
Exactly. It's not enough to just be charming and festive anymore, and we can't forget the power of social media.
If it's not Instagrammable, it might as well not exist. Businesses need to create those picture-perfect, shareable moments.
It's all about crafting experiences people will want to post online. Free marketing, basically.
But while we're admiring these businesses, we can't forget the other side of the coin, the economic realities.
Yeah. Living in Montmartre isn't cheap, and for people earning minimum wage, affording those overpriced hot chocolates might be a stretch.
It's a good reminder that the magic of Christmas doesn't erase those real-world challenges.
And as consumers, we need to be aware of that and think about the impact of our choices. Where we spend our money matters.
So listeners, our deep dive into Montmartre at Christmas has been about more than just holiday cheer. It's been about business, consumerism, and even a little bit of economics.
And hopefully it's given you some things to think about. What are your own thoughts on this market? Would you visit? Would you ever consider investing or starting a business there?
If you're looking to experience the magic of Montmartre, our source recommends checking out the Walk of Wonder channel on YouTube. They have a great video capturing the sights and sounds of Christmas time there.
It's the next best thing to actually being there, minus the crowds and the overpriced hot chocolate.
And remember, this is just one example. There are fascinating stories behind every market, every tourist spot. We'd love to hear about the places you're curious about.
So send us your suggestions. We're always up for a new deep dive.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep digging deeper.
Happy holidays, everyone.
And whether you're braving the crowds in Montmartre or navigating your own holiday shopping, remember to be strategic, be mindful, and most importantly, have fun.